Now, I've had this video idea for a few weeks now, but once I saw this, and then this,
Trevor Zegras, overtime game winner.
I knew it was the perfect time. So in the 7th episode of the Who's Better series, I bring to you Jack Hughes versus Trevor Zegras. Both of these young American-born studs were taken in the 2019 NHL Draft. Hughes, of course, with the first overall pick to the New Jersey Devils, and Zegras going a little later in the top 10 at pick number 9 to Anaheim. 2 full years have passed since this draft, and both guys are now full-time players in the NHL. Hughes in his 3rd year at the highest level, and Zegras in his first full year, despite playing 24 games with the Ducks last season. The 2019 draft is looking like it has the potential to go down as a very good one. And the United States in particular had a very good start to the first round, with 7 of the top 15 selections coming from the U.S. National Team Development Program. Time will tell, but in my opinion, both Jack Hughes and Trevor Zegras will be 2 of the best players to come out of this draft, and much like Jack Eichel and Austin Matthews, despite being in different drafts, much like they were just a few years ago, Hughes and Zegras will be a big part of the future of USA Hockey for many years to come. Jack Hughes is currently 20 years old, was born in Orlando, Florida, and stands in at 5'11", 176 pounds. Trevor Zegras is also currently just 20 years old, was born in Bedford, New York, and stands in at a similar 6 foot, 183 pound frame. Hughes made history after he was drafted, becoming the first player to jump straight from the U.S. national team into the NHL, and played 61 games for New Jersey in the 2019-20 season, tallying 21 points and learning his way through the challenges of the pro game. Zegras, on the other hand, had committed to Boston University and played in the 2019-20 season with the Terriers in the NCAA. He had a very strong freshman campaign, tallying 36 points in 33 games, good enough for 3rd in the nation among all freshmen. Zegras would also go to the World Juniors for Team USA that year and led the team in scoring with 9 assists in 5 games. So now that we have a little bit of background on these 2 players, we can start the comparison, which will be based on offense, defense, impact on team, and clutch factor. Starting it off with the offense category, it is obvious that both of these players have elite puck skills and scoring ability. Both have drawn comparisons to guys like Patrick Kane and have shown the ability at this point at all levels. So far in his NHL career, Hughes has played significantly more games compared to Zegras and has been in the league since he was an 18-year-old. He has 55 points in 119 games for a .46 points per game average. Zegras has played in just 39 NHL games so far and has 23 points, good for a .59 points per game. But Zegras, of course, came into the league as a 19-year-old and after getting some time in both the NCAA and the American Hockey League. Both Hughes and Zegras spent time playing for the U.S. National Under-18 team. Hughes played parts of 2 seasons with them and scored 180 points in 86 games for a whopping 2.09 point per game average, while Zegras played 1 full season for them, putting up a still very impressive 87 points in 60 games for a 1.45 points per game. Both of these players have unbelievable skill and potential. Both are extremely good playmakers and have the ability to score highlight reel goals. And in my opinion, it's too close to call in this category at this point, especially since Zegras hasn't played a full season in the NHL just yet, and Hughes has spent time injured, including right now, and Hughes jumped straight into the NHL from the national team. And because of all this, I'm going to give them a draw for the category of offense. Now for the defense category. For this one, since neither player is known for their defense, I'm just going to take a look at a few different stats. In his first few seasons, Hughes has had a pretty tough time so far adjusting to NHL faceoffs. He's taken nearly 700 draws and currently has a 35.8 faceoff win percentage. Zegras in his percentage has been slightly better, with a 42.4% win rate, but he has taken significantly less faceoffs given that he's only played about 40 games, and he has spent a good amount of time playing wing. Both players have had a tough time with their takeaway to giveaway ratios as well. Hughes with 108 takeaways and 128 giveaways, and Zegras with 11 takeaways and 29 giveaways. Because Hughes has played so many more games and has held his own for the most part thus far, and hasn't been a complete liability on defense, I'll give him the edge so far in the defense category. Now for impact on team. Both of these players are playing on teams that have been going through rebuilds in the early part of their careers. And in addition, both are playing on some of the worst offensive teams in terms of goal scoring since they were drafted. Despite this, you can certainly argue that both Hughes and Zegras are each the prized possessions of their franchise currently and are the most valuable players in terms of the future for both of their teams. It was a rough rookie season for Hughes, but he improved a great deal last season, finishing with the second most points on his team, and also had a very strong start to this year before being taken down with a shoulder injury. Since making his NHL debut last season, Zegras has had some ups and downs, but is finally starting to make his mark on the team and has 10 points through the first 15 games of this season. Right now, both the Ducks and Devils are having surprisingly strong starts to the year, and I think both Hughes and Zegras have been a big part of this. For that reason, I'm going to give them another draw in the impact on team category. And now lastly for the clutch factor. Since neither of these players have seen playoff action in the NHL just yet, we're going to have to go off of tournament play and playoffs that they may have been a part of at other levels. Jack Hughes played in one World Juniors tournament for Team USA and was one of the youngest players on the team at the time. He played in just 4 games and tallied 4 assists. Zegras, on the other hand, played in 2 separate World Juniors tourneys and lit it up both times, putting up a ridiculous 27 points in 12 games, including leading Team USA to a gold medal in 2021 and earning tournament MVP for his work. Zegras also had some big clutch goals in his time at Boston University and has had a few NHL game winners so far as well. And while Hughes has had his fair share of NHL game winners, he hasn't had quite as many clutch moments as Zegras just yet. For that reason, I'm giving the clutch factor category to TZ. So, now that we've gone through all the categories and have seen just how close these two players are at this point in their careers, it's time to make a decision. Who's better, Hughes or Zegras? I think at this point I still have to say Jack Hughes. Although Zegras has the higher NHL points per game right now and has a ton going for him, I think currently Hughes is a more complete player and was off to a super strong start to the 21-22 season before getting hurt. It'll be interesting to continue to follow and compare these two players as the years go on, and I think we'll find out a lot more by the end of the season. Make sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more awesome content like this.